Welcome to episode 216 of the DORKLAIR Collecting Podcast, recorded on Thursday, September 5th, 2024. We're going to hang out with the chat a lot today. There's not a ton of news that I have on the list. And as you can tell, we've got special guest Big Nerdy, Matt from Nerdzoic. How you doing, Matt?
I am awesome. How about you?
Doing good. Larry, what's going on, dude?
Man, if I'd known that Matt was going to be on here, I'd have worn an NWO shirt just because.
I just dropped off my. I had my Roman Reigns shirt on a little bit ago.
Yeah,
so I was rocking it too.
I've got a whole closet full of Project Ramen, so you can see. I've got probably 17 or 18 pairs of those shoes. I have a real problem. I need to slow down. It's terrible. Like every volume or every release of those shoes that's come out, I bought them in 4 or 5 different colors. I love the designs of his stuff. And nice. As Bill will tell you, if I like something, I can't buy just one of it.
Larry two times.
The joke there is I went through this period of time, I would forget that I'd pre-ordered stuff, and I would have 2 or 3 of the same thing show up and be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I doubled up on that. So
if it makes you feel better, a lot of people do that. The amount of people who, even with me, will be like, hey, I just ordered this. And it turns out I ordered this from you a month ago, too.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
What I've done is I've started a notes. Well, I've started 2 notes on my iPhone. One is to help me in preparation for our top 10 list next year, because I'm always scrambling to remember what I bought during the calendar year.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping, what I added to the collection every month. And dude, I need a support group. It's a lot. But the other thing that I do is I have a separate one where I have just my pre-orders. I've got my Big Bad pre-orders. I've got my Nerdzoic pre-orders. I've got my Entertainment Earth pre-orders. So I know what's there. So I've not done that in quite a while. But it's been an awesome couple of weeks. Bill knows this. So Steph and I had our competitions this past weekend. Yeah. So she did North American Championships. She placed 3rd in a class of about 20 girls. It was just, the improvements she's made over the last couple of years are ridiculous. The depth of field against which she competed was great. So we were really, really happy there. And then I did my first professional show on Sunday. And quite honestly, when I was standing backstage, I'm looking at the guys, and I told Bill this on a text. I was like, dude, I was looking around. There's 19 guys in my class. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I drove 8 hours to place about 17th. And but I went out and I had 2 goals. One was to look like I belonged. And then the second was to make the first call out, to get called out with the first group for comparisons. And they called my number in the first call out. So I ended up placing 7th, which is at the Masters Pro World Championships for my first time out. I'm not going to sneeze at that. I'm real happy. And I ate my face off Sunday night, and we had pizza and Doritos and Reese's everything. It was awesome. And then I had a few cool pickups this week. I'm not going to go over everything. I'm just going to hit some high notes.
Can we stay on your stuff for a second?
Yeah, sure. I don't want to monopolize.
Is it a reel? Whatever, like on Facebook when you did the video.
Oh, afterwards when we were in the parking deck?
Like day 364 or whatever it is.
Yeah. So I did I'm documenting on Instagram. I'm documenting the path from this year's contest to next year's all through the off season. Yeah. So I'm getting a detailed nutrition training, everything. I think it was 362 days out.
That was a great video, and I'm looking forward to following along with that. That's really cool.
I've gotten more feedback on that than I expected. I've had a lot of people like, oh, yeah, I'm eager to see, because I want people to see, 1, what it looks like, but 2, you can balance a marriage and a relationship and a career. I have a real life job. I'm in medical sales. I work 50 plus hours a week. I travel. So I want to show people, hey, this is how you can do this. This is how you can be efficient with your time. So I'll be documenting this as it goes on. I hope to be more succinct and a little more clear as things go on, because I recorded and deleted that about 4 or 5 times, because I was like, wow, why use, one word when 500 will suffice? So I'm trying to be more to the point.
Yeah. You just got to keep making them, and that'll come over time.
So I've got a lot of positive feedback on
amazing.
that. Oh, I appreciate it. We love it, and it gives us, obviously we got married long after child age, so this is our thing. This is what we love to do. It's what we love to do together, and I guess the couple that suffers together stays together, because I had said in one of my reels that I did afterwards that, when my mood or my energy levels or whatever were up, she's very even. And if I kind of got a little out of my depth, she would reel me back in, like, hey, remember, you chose this. We get to do this. And that's the thing we keep reminding each other is we have the privilege to do this. We live in a place where we are blessed with the means to do without, as silly as that sounds. But we had a great time, so much fun. And, Pittsburgh's an awesome town. I love Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's cool.
It's easy to get around. The people are cool. It does not have a big city feel. It really, especially a northeastern city, It feels like they took a small town and plopped it down in western Pennsylvania, a small southern town. Everybody is so cool. And it's surprisingly easy to get around up there. I really enjoyed it.
That's pretty much western Pennsylvania for you.
Yeah.
Like, as a whole.
Yeah. So quickly, couple of pickups. When I first the thing that first drew me to the show was Bill was doing SH Figure Arts reviews. He was the only podcast doing them. And I'm big figure arts guy, all the Star Wars stuff, no Disney, except for Andor. Andor's awesome. And Rogue One. But they're not doing really any Marvel stuff. We got Deadpool and Wolverine coming. And so they've fallen off. So I'm like, well, I'm going to switch to collecting some more Mafex, because I bought all the Mafex Batman stuff. So a couple weeks ago, I ordered Steel and Steel and the Cyborg Superman, and pre-ordered Superboy and the Eradicator, and pre-ordered the black suit Resurrection Superman. And these things are awesome. It's just as awesome as as much as I've just gone on and on and how effusive I've been about how great the Batman Mafex stuff is. The Superman Mafex is just as good. There's a couple of figure arts things where I'm finishing up my Justice League, Zack Snyder Justice League stuff, but I've pre-ordered some Mafex Zack Snyder. So I may go into trying to work with that, but that's really good. Another thing that I picked up, Bill helped hook me up with a Nathan Van Asian on Instagram, and I had bought a Casey Jones Mezco because I missed out on the pre-order for this guy. So we were able to facilitate a trade.
Nice.
Mezco continues to knock it out of the park. I love their G.I. Joe stuff. And this is the original Commando Snake Eyes is absolutely my favorite version of anything. I have a hard time resisting repaints. I got the Slaughters, Marauders, Sergeant Slaughter. And for some reason, this repaint really suits him. I like it. But my favorite thing that I've gotten the past couple of weeks, I also got the blue Azrael Batman, but I didn't bring that in here because I've gone on and on about how cool the red one is. But I finally broke down and bought the blue one. But I always talk whenever companies put out grayscale and artist proof and they show us previews of figures, how much I wish that we had the opportunity to buy the figures just in the gray with no paint applications. And they did it. McFarlane did a gold label for the Dark Knight. And I didn't even know this existed. So I went on eBay, got this. It was only like $30.
Yeah, they're not expensive.
They're not. This little $30 figure is my front runner right now. I mean, of all the hundreds of dollar figures I've bought, all the multiple figures I bought this whole year, this right now is my figure of the year. I love it. I love being able to see the sculpt unobstructed by paint. I love the Dark Knight Returns, but it's all kinds of awesome. And if they did every Batman in that, I would have to pick it up. I wouldn't have a choice, but it's awesome stuff. I didn't even know it existed. And I saw someone had posted one in a reel on Instagram. And I was like, what is this? I have to find out. And I was able to go online and find it, and couldn't get it into my grubby little hands fast enough. Oh, and one other purchase that has nothing to do with toys. Do you guys know what the Ninja Creamy is?
No.
So Ninja is like a mixer blender thing.
Just
Creamy,
yeah.
Creami. Go look at it on Amazon. It's $200, $230. This thing is a game changer. Whether you eat healthy or don't eat healthy, you like frozen stuff, dude, you freeze whatever you freeze and it turns it into ice cream. And we did like all kinds of like protein stuff we can have when we diet. We did 4 different bases. We did almond milk, oat milk, Fairlife protein, and water. And we mixed in just all kinds of different proteins that we like. And you do about 16 ounces of water to 2 scoops of the protein. And you can add in whatever you want. You put fruit or this or that or heavy cream, or I mean, you can make real ice cream with it. But something as simple as a couple scoops of protein and water frozen for 24 hours. This thing mixes it up. It like mixes air in with it, breaks the crystals and so. It's like eating ice cream. I cannot tell you, like, if I could put opposable,
How big is it?
It's tall. I'm
maybe
looking at it now.
maybe 18 inches tall and maybe 6-8 inches wide. It's not a huge footprint. A whole lot less than my battle cat up there. If I could get somebody to put posable arms and legs and a ball jointed neck on this thing, that would be my figure of the year. But so completely off topic. If anyone knows about this and has been on the fence about it, go buy that thing. It's awesome. I'm gonna shut up now.
Matt, how about you? Any recent pickups?
We have been, Hasbro dumped all the third quarter product the same week. So I got like 3 pallets in a row.
Oh my Lord.
And I have my stuff sitting in a pile somewhere. I don't even know where. I haven't opened anything in weeks because of it. It has been nuts. Between that and NECA is going through some internal issues with their warehousing, and stuff is coming very slowly. Like I just got a pallet today for something they invoiced me for on August 2nd. Like they're really struggling. Yeah. So I haven't opened anything. Last thing I opened was probably some wrestling stuff. Shocker. Just because I got one buddy who he'll pick up wrestling stuff because he knows that, especially like the Target exclusive stuff. And he'll just come here and he'll be like, I'll trade you. Like he'll just walk to the store and then he'll like pull out his trades. And I'm like, son of a, come on. I need all this stuff.
So Matt, let me ask you, when you're buying your wrestling stuff, is that because I've got a Hulk Hogan shelf. If a Triple H or a Brock comes out, I pick those up. And that's really like what I pick up. And they've done Hogan's from every era. They showed some cool ones at SDCC. Is there any? How do you collect?
So my rule up until recently was they have to be no longer in-ring active.
Okay,
that was how I was kind of getting around it. But then WrestleMania happened. I went to it. I took my kid, and now he is like hardcore wrestling fan. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, I have an excuse to buy everything. So I tried opening an account with Mattel, and even though I like crushed all of their sales goals, they are really, really strict on either brick and mortar or complete solo warehouse, not shared with anybody. So I couldn't get an account with them. So I just started buying wrestling stuff through Diamond Distribution, which is pretty rough because it's low margin. But I'm like, I'm literally buying this stuff just because I want it at this point. Like it did not sell when I had it in the store years ago, but now I'm just like, yeah, I'll buy it. So I have a Gunther sitting in my pile, the new Ultimate Edition Gunther. And I'm like, yeah, I need a Gunther. Why not? I was going to open up the Jey Uso, but my son pointed out that it's not the main event Jey Uso, and we need to wait for the next one.
Oh my gosh, and that's the thing. They've got Ultimate and Elite and regular. And I think that's one cool thing that Mattel is doing is they have a price point for every fan. Like if you've got a little kid and you don't want to buy them the Elite with 14 removable hands and a belt and a this and a that, they've got a basic figure, and they do it of everybody. They're doing a really good job of getting all of their different performers in these different price points.
They're really killing it. Like they do that really well. They're able to really, from a business standpoint, it's cool when I watch them say, okay, they just signed this person to a Legends deal. So now we're going to get every character they ever played.
Right.
So they signed Rikishi. So we got Rikishi. We have Fatu, the gang guy. We have the Sultan. Like we have every version of him ever, and I freaking love it.
I love that they play the different eras. One of my favorite things that I've bought is I bought the from the Territories 2-pack I bought on eBay. You know, people will break those packs up, and I bought the Superstar Billy Graham.
Nice.
And that thing, like, I love Superstar. You know, I mean, he's what led to Hulk Hogan. He's the 70s Hulk Hogan. So he was always one of my favorites. And and like, I mean, they've got Hogan with the green belt. They've got Hogan with the blue shorts from that he wore one time in the tag team match with Mean Gene with that belt. I mean, it's so specific. I just love what they've done, and they're killing it with their Masterverse line. Like, Mattel is really firing on all cylinders.
They really are. They don't get enough credit, I think, sometimes. Like, they got a lot of crap over the whole He-Man.
Digital River.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. I think they're still suffering from. I mean, it's been 10, 15 years, but there's still definitely a hangover from that and the white screen of doom, which I'm sure you remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The wrestling stuff's just nuts, and I'm still bitter that the Nitro stage didn't get funded when they crowdfunded that.
I was so surprised that didn't go through. I really was.
Yeah, me too.
Really
me too. That was just incredible. So, yeah, wrestling stuff. It's like we're in the heyday for it right now, and I notice that every store I walk into, there's a ton of AEW stuff, but WWE stuff is just tough to come by right now.
It really is. It really is. What I do, like, if I know I want something, I pre-order it as soon as it comes up, either from, you know, one of the sites that carries it, or to go pick up in a Target, and they'll tell me when it comes in and I go get it. But, you know, and like their chases, the only chase that I found in the wild, the Hulk Hogan Ichiban, I found the one with the blue boots in the wild.
Nice.
But I mean, even like that, it's amazing the depth that they've gone to with all these characters. It's something else.
But we still will never get a Jesse Ventura, unfortunately. I
really because Vince McMahon, you're not getting any more money from
me. I want him so bad so I can have him with my Karrion Kross. You ever see the clip of him doing Ventura in the gym?
Yeah.
Telling me you don't got 3 more reps in you. When I was in the Gulf of Tongan, I was doing bicep curls.
I love it. Yeah, I was watching an interview where they brought Karrion Kross in. They brought someone else in that was doing a Jesse Ventura. Yeah, Will Sasso. That was you saw the same one I did.
Saw it. Yeah, it was fantastic.
It was awesome.
All right, let's jump into the chat here. I'm going to share I have one big highlight pickup that I'm going to share because it ties in with one of the news things later. But we've got Kevin Boots with the $5 super chat. Hello, all. Hit that like button, people. And then we've got Kevin, who's been a member for 16 months.
Awesome.
Rob for 16 months. Thomas Belay for 16 months. And we've got new member TJ Williams, Hedgehog. Joe Gonzalez gave 10 memberships. And Curtis says, proud of you, Larry. Great job. I'm ready to get a little dorky and nerdy tonight. Yes. The nerd lair tonight. And then let's jump back into the regular chat and just kind of buzz through some people who are here. And I want to try to focus a little more on the chat today because we don't have a feature figure and there's not a ton of news. So we got Rob Zamora. Steph is here. Curtis, of course. Dave is here. Mecha Rekka. Let's see who else that we haven't mentioned yet. Heinrich. Trevor. Schmurder. Blaze. Keith. Hank. Who else do we have here? Eric Miller. What's going on? Jordan. Dylan. Jay. Ben. Edgardo. Rick Jones. Santos. And Johnny Knight. Realm of Toys. Cloud Foxwell. Hi, bye. Enjoy your night. And Benji, Lewis, KJ. Noah, what's going on? Noah of the Mythic Enablers. And then we have any others? Let's see here. Slink is here. Rocco. Kyle.
Hey, Nerdzoic producer Kyle's here.
Oh, Kyle's your producer.
Is that your guy?
He is.
Cool.
Yeah, that's my guy. He lives about 45 minutes away. He shows up here like once every 2 months to get paid in toys.
Big nerdy's man in the van.
That's right.
Yeah, man. Wraith. Let's see here. I think that's everybody. Jurassic. Wow, this is still going here. Lewis. I don't think I mentioned Lewis. And Texas. B. Rivera. Valentine Toy Box. And Saf. That's all right. We're caught up here.
Someone asked about the Mondo Tila. I did not pick that up, but I did pre-order the Scare Glow, and I'll probably try to go back and get Mondo Tila at some point. It does look good. I saw some color issues that I wasn't crazy about, but I'm sure they'll fix that at some point. I'm hoping they do like a single head release like they did with He-Man and Skeletor. You still pick those up even though you can't pick up the deluxe anymore. So I'm looking for that. I was wondering, Matt, you said you were talking about dumping a bunch of Hasbro dumping a bunch of Q3 stuff on you. As a retailer, do you have any early insight into what we're going to see on HasbroCon or PulseCon tomorrow?
Is PulseCon tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow's the 13th. It's at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Yep.
I am like
no tomorrow. Wait, what? No, tomorrow's the 6th. Next Friday.
Oh, wait, tomorrow's the 6th. Wow, I lost a week. Never mind. Okay, next Friday is the 13th. Sorry about that.
I have Jane's Addiction tickets for next Friday the 13th, and I'm pumped up to go.
Oh, that sounds fun.
That show. It's not like my favorite venue too, so I'm excited.
That'll be cool.
So I can tell you. So I'm looking at the Hasbro schedule. Everything's very coded, and because it's all January of next year's releases, I don't have any extra insight. But it looks like quite a bit actually. Transformers Deluxe, Legacy 1, 2, 3. So a whole wave of Legacy, a whole wave of G.I. Joe. No retros. Another, it looks like a Comics Legends Build-A-Figure wave. So quite a bit of stuff, actually. It looks like it's all going to be on shelf January 1st for the most part.
This
I
is
bet
the
there's
time
going to be
of
a
year
lot of Transformers 1 stuff.
Yeah.
Because Yellow
they
Park's
showed some of
putting out
that
a ton
today.
Yeah. When does that come out? Like the 17th, 18th, something like that? About the middle of this month?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I could tell you that, like, I'm curious to see. So it's very funny to watch in the store because I can tell how good a movie is by the bump in sales.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like when X-Men 97 came out, anything X-Men, gone.
Yeah.
When Deadpool Wolverine came out, Wolverine stuff that had been sitting there for years, like the Bone Breaker Wolverines, gone out the door. Alien recently with the Alien Romulus, all the NECA Alien stuff's gone. So I'll know very soon if it's good.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Matt. Do the Hasbro nicknames work?
Sometimes.
I don't understand that questions, but
well, they give these nicknames, and most of the time they have absolutely nothing to do with the figure. But occasionally they do. So like G.I. Joe's code names are like Maggie, Xandar, Leatherneck. I would imagine that because these are released so far in advance that these have nothing to do with the figures.
Yeah.
And then there was another question. Oh, are they showing at $33 for next year? The Legends?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
I'm looking at the price right now. All the stuff for Legions for HasCon is showing at the same prices as this year.
I'm surprised they've been able to keep that cost down. I'm surprised McFarlane's been able to keep his cost down for as long as he has.
He's been finding other ways to mess with it. Like he came up with that collector's edition, pulling that to $30 really subsidizes the $23 figures.
Yeah.
To a large degree. And same with he's been doing a lot of exclusive stuff. Like he had that Crisis Wave that was exclusive. It's in stock in their zone.
Right.
That he had that was like $40 a figure, and everybody was angry about that. So yeah, he definitely it's hard. It really is for them. And it's funny because like I see things and now I understand things so much more in the business. Like today we got that Lockjaw and Crystal set.
I saw that. A lot
of people were upset about the price, but I was actually surprised it was where it's at because that's like a
$50 figure. That big one. That's like a $50 figure.
Yeah, that mold, like the Lockjaw mold. What else are they going to use that for?
Nothing. And they did 2 sets of legs for it.
Yeah.
That's there's no reuse there. It's not like a secret jet that Hasbro makes that they can repaint 37 times.
Yeah. Now it's
You know,
interesting.
Reuse would be a reissue.
Yeah, like looking at the pictures, the actual joints themselves look a lot like Zabu, the Build-A-Figure. Now, obviously, they can't reuse the molds, but it looks like a lot of the design is almost exactly the same, just based on pictures.
How much money realistically would they save, though, if they're still having to redo the molds?
Not much.
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so, because so much of that stuff's done in a computer, right?
Yeah, it's probably like 1 day's labor for one person.
Right. They just save on design costs or whatever. So Curtis is asking, did you ever get your McFarlane vendor account?
Yeah, so we were talking about this a little before the show. I did not. However, I got an email from McFarlane PR a week ago, completely unrelated, which shows how well they all do at talking to each other in the company. That was, hey, do you want to interview Todd about his Spawn Kickstarter? Because I guess the Spawn Kickstarter caused some controversy, and he's out there reaching out to influencers, I use that term lightly, to talk to them. So I'm like, man, do I want to do this? And then at the end be like, hey, Todd, where's my freaking account, man? But because the other end of it is, the one thing that came out of that video that was really cool was I got some extra distribution out of it. And you guys will notice I have a ton of McFarlane exclusives that nobody else has. So it's like, do I want a vendor account if it means I can't sell this stuff? Now I'm like, I don't know if I do. I think I'm better off being grumpy about it and getting all the exclusives.
Could be.
Because the bad part is, like today, they had the page punchers come out. I knew they were coming out, so I had like the listings pre-built. So I didn't have them up till 12:08. But the bad part is, it's like I got to sit at the computer. So like today, for example, I had a pallet of NECA come in. So it's like I got to leave the pallet of NECA, come downstairs, watch the computer before I could check it in. It's a pain in the butt, but I'd rather have all the exclusives than the account. So, you know.
Larry, here you go. A man of your own heart. Larry, no paint issues on my Tila, but I do need another one.
Yep, there you go.
Texas 2 times.
Hey, someone had said earlier, and I think it was might have been Hedgehog. I saw he said that Jesse Ventura was close to a Legends deal. I think it was he came to as a super chat.
Scroll. Oh, really? Oh, did I?
Yeah, I think we missed that.
No, it wasn't. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay. Oh, yeah, I missed that. Thank you. $2 super chat. Jesse might be getting close to a Legends deal.
I would love that. I would love to have a Jesse, because they could do AWA Jesse, they could do early WWF Jesse, they do a Jesse and Gorilla 2-pack, and
they could
Jesse
do so much.
He had so many different outfits. It was like they could do 10 different releases of him, and between his sunglasses and his hats and the way he did his facial hair, it'd make them all look completely different.
Oh, that would be so. And then like I wouldn't. If they do it, I'll do a whole video in the Jesse Ventura voice. I'll just put it up there now. I'm down in the Baja. We don't have laws. We have regulations. You can build your house as high as you want.
What's the drama with the Spawn Kickstarter? Like, is it just because it's like, why does he need to do it kind of thing?
I think so. And like, I don't know that. I'm having a hard time believing that he really sold $1 million worth of Kickstarters. Maybe
it's like who he sold them to. He might have bought some of them himself.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, the man spent 3-point-something million on a baseball. I wouldn't put it past him to spend some coin to make his marketing look good.
I feel like the only reason he did it was to like break a record, like to be known as the one who broke a Kickstarter record or something, right?
He loves the headlines.
Yeah, it's like it's a publicity stunt. But are people suggesting that like the numbers are not
padded?
Huh. Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, I know a lot of Kickstarters are padded in ways where it's like they go out and they solicit sales, but he hasn't done that at least not with me. But you know, I don't know. Like Spawn in general is such a smaller niche brand at this point. Like the amount of Spawn collectors are, at least in my orbit, when I look at like page value, like page views on Spawn products and stuff, it's so much lower than everything else.
Okay.
Don't complain about his shipping. I don't want him to lower it.
It's the rewards. He was mad shady about the incentives.
Okay.
Offer like a pair of hands as a tier, and then the also like when you buy one figure, it's 25, and when you buy two figures, it's 50, and it doesn't like get any cheaper. Like it's just every single figure you buy is an additional $25 shipping. So it's just like there's no, you're just adding that to the figure. That's one of the reasons I'm not even touching it.
That's
it's 'cause,
insane.
like, it's a lot.
While I will agree that additional hands as a tier is pretty bad. It's better than patches, Hasbro.
They're in a bad spot with that. Like, I kind of understand it. Like, they have their big corporate money making guys who are like, they'll bring the project to them and they'll say, well, how much is it with the tiers? Well, we can't sell it unless the tiers and the product make sense. So they count all those tiers into the profit. So if you're the marketing guy, you're like, you know what? I want to put as much of the budget into the product as possible. What's something that doesn't cost much that we can throw in as a Kickstarter bonus? And that's where they end up with that stuff. And I think that's why Kickstarter or why HasLab's slowly going to start dying here, because that kind of stuff is pissing people off.
I want to know who sat there and said, oh, they're going to love this, or we won't get any pushback here, or this will never come back to bite us.
Oh, they know. It's the same guy who came up with cardboard rocks for the Rancor.
Oh my gosh, that was almost as good. Yeah.
A sword is one tier, and the sheath for the same sword is a different tier. Oh my god!
Wow, that's pretty.
I hadn't really looked into it too much. I didn't realize the tiers were like these.
That's like
minuscule little things.
That's like I had a kid I went to school with. His birthday was on December 24th, and he would always get gag gifts like pencils one day and erasers the next. And it's kind of what this feels like.
Yeah,
it's funny because the goal was $100,000, and it's at 1.6 million. Like. And you got tiers after that. It is kind of laughable.
I don't understand the point of it. Like, you have to pay Kickstarter, I believe, with the credit card at 7.9%. Yeah. What the hell is the point of putting it there? Like, I just don't understand it.
Well, I do think the volume is probably way more than it would be. I mean, think about how many figures this is. I mean, it's kind of mind blowing, and that whole like FOMO thing and the hype of it, and just like I said, the publicity of just doing a Kickstarter. I feel like it wouldn't even come close to this if it were just a pre-order or something.
Well, what if he did it like HasLab, like McFarlane Lab on his site?
Yeah,
wouldn't it be the same idea? Like just 5% safe, or I mean, even pass on that 5% savings to the consumer. I know it's a crazy idea, but it's just kind of throwing it. Like, he's got the notoriety and he's got the social media reach and the marketing reach. I just don't see a reason. I hate it when people use Kickstarter that don't need it. So like that, Simon does it for gaming all the time. It drives me nuts.
Who does?
Simon. They make a lot of miniature games.
Okay.
Looking for my slides here.
Did you get the Beetlejuice thing I sent you earlier today, Bill?
Yeah, that's on the slides. Yep. We'll talk about that. Try to figure out if it's a old man or a young Beetlejuice. Okay. So we're gonna start with Legions news. I do have a giveaway, by the way. A Valiant Knight.
Ooh, that's a hot one.
People have been scrambling for this lately. It's funny because there's going to be a bunch of nights coming up, and I feel like this is just going to be just another night among many eventually. But right now, people are still kind of crazy for the Valiant Knight, so I figured I would do that. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a second giveaway too, but definitely going to give that away in a little bit. And I wanted to start with some Legions talk and talk about pricing. So the Legions prices, both the retail prices and eventually the convention prices are going to change too. So the retail prices are coming down a few bucks, and the con prices are going to go up a little bit. The direct prices are going to stay the same. But let's take a look at the retail prices here. So I put that through a little chart here. So kind of comparing the prices. We have the standard and the deluxe, and then the the like accessory set. So this is all Ox Crew Book 2 stuff. This is the Hero Zone stuff. This is the first wave that's getting these new prices. And they have that accessory set with the little dio pieces. That also went down $5. But generally speaking, I feel like it's most interesting to talk about the standard and the deluxe because those are very common price points for these figures. So what's happening is, we have the $37 standard figure that typically was $50 prior, and now the new price is $45. And we have the deluxe figures that are usually $48 direct, and the old retail price was $60, and now these are down to $55. So $5 price drop on both of those. So, pretty good for buyers who like to, not put the money up front, and they like to buy them at retail rather than buy them direct from Four Horsemen. So I thought it would be interesting to get a retailer's perspective. We got Matt on here, and what are your thoughts on these prices?
I love it. They do a little behind the scenes. The wholesale pricing didn't change, but the Horsemen really give us great pricing on our products, and being able to offer it a little bit lower is nice because they're very strict about keeping their pricing where it is. And I think it's cool. I think it's a great idea. I'm glad they did it. I think that we'll probably see a bigger bump in retail long term. I think the bigger piece of this is, if I'm not mistaken, Jeremy talked about them not bringing as much product to shows as long as they have. So like now, I believe you can still get Poxis stuff at shows. He talked about like the new stuff, maybe making it 2 to 3 shows only.
Right. Even prior to that, like I think you can get All Stars 4 at shows, right? Like even some stuff that's like a little bit older. So yeah, and they're going to just order less for extras for selling. He talked about how a lot of times they would order them and they would do in-stock sales in the past, and then they just don't really have a need to. They have the retailers doing it. So, they don't really, it's just like a redundancy that they don't need to deal with, and they don't need to deal with the warehouse space because they're doing more and more waves, and they're constantly having like turnaround live in the moment, and having older stuff take up room is a problem for them. So
yeah, especially in New Jersey, real estate's not cheap. It makes sense for them to want to do this, and it's kind of refreshing to see, because I see McFarlane attempting to do the direct to consumer, and NECA's trying to do it as much as they can, and everyone's trying to do it as much as they can. They don't think about the consumer though. They're not worried about like, hey, what level of service are we able to offer? I like that the Horsemen are saying, hey, we're toy designers. We can sell stuff on pre-order. We go to cons. We're there with the people. We're not e-commerce people who are going to have stuff up all the time. So I love it.
Yeah. Yep. Couple comments. King Castle Sieger says, super nice for West Coast people buying after the direct pre-order. Yeah, because West Coast, like when you buy direct, the shipping is pretty rough. And when you get out to the West Coast and then you get overseas and stuff, it's pretty tough. So yeah, for those people, it's interesting to me. I wonder, I guess we don't know if they're going to do any retail Legion builders, but it sticks in my mind as a thing where Legion builders are now the same price as standard figures in the retail pricing. So I wonder if they do a future Legion builder that's not like the ones they've done recently in the last couple of years, those have been direct, they like in stock sale type things where they just like drop a reinforcements wave, right? And then it's, that's in stock, or they sell it at shows, or right now some of that stuff is like kind of almost evergreen on their site right now. But in the past they were 45. That was one of the worst markups that they had, where these $26 figures were marked up to 45 at retail, whereas the $37 figures were marked up to 50. It was a tough thing to army build when it's pretty much the same price as a standard figure. So that'll be interesting to see what happens.
I mean, it's interesting too with those, because the last in stock sale. So back in February, the last day of the sale, I was like, you know what? I'm tired of my Mythic Legions shelf being empty. Let me buy a dozen of each Legion builder, and just so I have something in stock for people, I'll mark it up to the retail price of $50. I did it, and they sold out like the day I sent the email out that they were in stock. So, I mean, it just goes to show you, people, like, they eat this stuff up. It's great.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, you're never going to have a problem with Mythic Legion stuff sitting around collecting dust.
No. Cosmic's a different story. Specifically, as I call her, Mumba Jumba, the orange chick from Wave 2. I'll have her forever. Other than that, no, never.
Did you overorder that one, or is that just not a popular character?
So it appears that a lot, based on the comments I read, she smells like
the
she
paint?
has a toxic odor to her. Like,
I wonder if they drop some Stinkor Patchouli in there or something.
Yeah, I think
it's one of those things where clear figures, sometimes that happens with clear figures sometimes, and like not all of them are like that, because mine, they smell, but they smell like other figures. But they're just stronger action figure smell. It's not like a gross smell. So, but yeah, there's a lot of people who have a super like nasty smelling Imbira and Jira.
I mean, I can tell you that in the box, she does not smell. Like, she's sitting on the shelf in the Mythic section of the store. She smells fine. So maybe it's a whoever smelt it dealt it kind of deal.
Yeah. I don't know. The new Hagnon is stinky too. Yeah, that makes sense, because like there's something about the clear plastic.
It's the uranium they keep putting in these figures. I keep telling Jeremy, like, you got to lay off that, dude.
I'll be with the number of figures I have. I'll be dead soon if that's the case.
Oh, I'm convinced if there's anything toxic in these plastics, I'm just making sure my life insurance is paid up.
There you go.
We'll be done.
That's why you work out so much. You're just like training your body to fight off whatever.
I've been around enough toxins and pathogens in the gym. That's why I shrugged COVID off so fast.
I hope someone keeps Imbira in a box for like 10 years.
I hope it's they should do that as its own panel.
That's funny.
Hagnon's worth the stick. Now I go in the dark, just like my figures.
We're getting something from them.
Oh, this is good stuff. All right, let's see. I did want to talk about Retrocon. Hedgehog had asked to share this stuff. So Retrocon is this coming weekend. And Nerdy, you're on the fence about whether or not you're going to go, right?
I'm checking my text messages to see if my buddy's going. He says yes. So I guess that means I have to rent a car and go. We're rocking one car in the household right now. And my daughter has a birthday party. So I don't have the car. Yeah. I've been in 3 different deals to buy different Ford F-150s or Chevy Silverados over the last month. Every single deal has fallen through at the mechanic inspection. Like there's something either shady or they magically don't want it to go to a mechanic. So I basically have given up at this point. I'm like, let's just do this one vehicle thing as long as we can go. And then our minivan, which is not inspected, runs just fine. So occasionally I'll play chicken with that. Like I'll load that sucker up and head to the Nerdzoic storage unit with it. But it's rare. I try to only do it in the dark for all the cops listening.
My car didn't pass inspection this year. I had to get a new muffler.
R.I.P. Was it rust? Sucks. You're right in that rust belt, Bill.
It was my muffler. I actually had a hole in my flex pipe, and then the guy was like, "Your muffler's old too," so I just got the new muffler too. But yeah, it was loud. My car didn't pass because of how loud it was.
Oh, so mine, I'm like, "Are you sure you can't pass it?" And they're like, "Dude, we told you 3 years ago it will never pass again." And we talked us into it for the last 3 years. And he like pulls me back, and the car's up on the lift, and he's showing me all the holes in the frame where the rust has gone through. And I'm like, wow. We can throw some putty or something in there.
So Matt, where are you? You in New Jersey?
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh, you're in Harrisburg. Okay.
Yeah, so 3 hours from Pittsburgh, 2 hours from Philly.
Yeah, you're right there in the middle.
Yeah, it's actually pretty sweet because I can get to Manhattan in about 3 hours and 15 minutes. Baltimore's under 2 hours. DC's 2.5. Philly's a little under 2 hours. So
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
now I can get everywhere without paying the home prices.
I like that.
I didn't know there were states that didn't have inspections. Which state are you in, Kevin?
Wait, what?
It's interesting.
Gotta move there.
We have to do state inspection. We used to have inspection stickers, but now you just have to have it inspected before they'll send you your registration for your tag for the next year.
Oh, yeah, we still got stickers here.
Yeah, we don't have stickers anymore. They stopped that. They stopped that at some point while I was living either in Virginia or Florida. I can't remember which.
Yeah, this is true right here. East Pennsylvania, Jersey, a lot of conventions that are drivable in that area.
I'm telling you, that's why Nerdzoicon is going to be in Pennsylvania when it happens.
Nice
beyond just a word.
Yep.
Yep. So Retrocon this weekend. It's apparently there's going to be a Four Horsemen table going on there, run by Wolf King, I believe, and apparently it's like a really good like vintage toy show and just a ton of awesome vintage stuff, and just one of those cons where you just want to have a buddy and just like walk around and just like look at all the stuff and maybe pick something and hunt. I think Hedgehog talked about doing like him and his friends that are going, they're all going to hunt for some mask figures or do something like that, have a fun day that way. He says don't miss Retrocon, tons of games, prizes, etc. Fall Guy, Bionic Woman, the Nasty Boys, Mythic Meetup on Sunday, which is right here, the Mid-Atlantic Mythic Meetup. And let me just thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm going to get this here. So next to the Four Horsemen table on the Sunday at 12 o'clock, you got Jesse Arnold. And it's going to be
my local comic book guy, Jesse Arnold.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, for years, man. For years, before Nerdzoic, before Four Horsemen, probably, I was going to the comic book store and Jesse would be my guy.
Oh, nice. Oh, what a small world. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious. So they'll do some paint demos, Patrick Boyle and Nate Armstrong, and then prizes. Sounds like an awesome time. I wish I could come down there. It's a little far for me to.
It's a beautiful show, and honestly, what's weird about it is this is weird. It sounds bad, but it's Philly. It's a beautiful venue. It's outside the city. It's near King of Prussia Mall. If you need a reason to convince your wife to go with you, second biggest mall in the country.
Oh, wow.
That's how I got my wife to go. But it's like free parking, very, very, very big. It's really nice.
I wanted to address this because Slink had asked earlier, and I forgot to respond. I don't have any memory toys or hero toys yet. I know you're talking about the orcs. I should pick one up and do a review. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I got to get on that at some point. I know they look really good. They look like fantastic figures. Do either of you guys have any of those?
I do not.
Sort of third party orcs. They're pretty cool looking. They're like they're like big, chunky, bulky orcs, but like import style, kind of like that. What's that line? The one with like Blade Master Wang, like those kind of things, or like
those
Cesare, or like those kind of companies. It's like one of those small third party companies, and the figures look really good. Hedgehog says New Jersey only does emissions. Tennessee doesn't have inspections. Okay, that's where.
Yeah, North Carolina is just emissions as well.
Okay.
Huh. Tennessee is where I'm going to retire. All they got to do is make sure there's no snakes there. So I'm waiting for them to eradicate the snakes, and then I'm there. They can have me.
Curtis with the super chat says, yeah, Jesse said he was going to get nerdy on shooting the shelf over a year ago. I'm still waiting.
Curtis, you might need to be like Jesse. What are you doing here? I'm there anytime, brother. I love being on other people's shows. It means I don't have to do any prep work. I just have to show up. I love it.
I feel that.
All that after me being so effusive about your return to regular posting.
I know. Well, that takes work. That's Kyle in the chat. He has to do all the work for that. Him and editor Epi, the two of them. I got it down to the point where I just write the video, film the video, and say, okay, guys, send me the final edit. And
Yeah, well, then thank you. You said Kyle's his name?
Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, well, thank you, Kyle, because you guys do awesome work. I look forward to it every week.
Love it. Thank you.
For folks on the other side of the country, if you're in the Arizona area, Street Team, this Saturday as well, the Epic Toy Show in Phoenix, hosted by Thomas and Sam and David. Nice. And thank you. Thank you.
You guys got Scorpion, so I'm not coming.
Yeah, I don't have any use for those.
No.
And they're only about 4 months out of the year where it's not blistering hot in Arizona, so I don't need to be out there.
No, at my advanced age of 41, I cannot be doing this kind of heat. I went and looked at a warehouse the other day, and they're like, dude, we don't have air conditioning. Nobody has air conditioning. And I said,
bye.
Well, then I guess I'm not getting the warehouse then, because I am not going back to working in the kitchen. I'm sure it's not going back to an 85-degree warehouse.
Yep.
And thanks again, Thomas and Curtis, for the $5 super chats. Much appreciated. And of course, it's the super chats and the memberships that I thought I put that on here. Maybe I did not. Or maybe it's, hold on, let me see if it's somewhere else in the slideshow.
I need a Bill Steam, or I need a Bill StreamYard lesson. He's so good at this.
I wish I was a little better at making little cut video. I need to make some like cut videos, like for certain things. Like when you're on, I would love to have like when you guys start talking wrestling, like some kind of like hit that's like wrestling talk or something. I don't know.
You gotta do a
ding, 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 ding.
Wrestling talk.
Yeah, you gotta have a bell ringing in the background.
Right, totally. Like I need something, little transitions and cut.
Total behind the scenes here, but did you see they dropped the new pricing like an hour before we went live?
Who?
StreamYard?
No. What is it now?
Yeah, don't look at that now. You'll be angry.
God. I'm paying $50 a month right now. What's it going up to?
Well, you might want to check that.
Oh God. I might, what I might do is I think sometimes at the beginning of the year they offer like a year, like a discount for a year. I may do that this year if they're going up. I might do that. But anyway, so
just get rid of Zoom and then use StreamYard, and then you have a 2-in-1. That's what I do.
I don't have Zoom. I don't need it anymore. Was I even using Zoom? I was using Google Meet when we were remote with school and all that stuff. So I don't need it for anything. And I think my wife might have it but for work, but that's not her. The work pays for it.
Nice.
So again, thank you to the channel members. We're currently at 84 channel members. And then for the most recent super chats, and just as always, a huge thank you. And I'm going to do a giveaway. So I need to pull up the giveaway tool here. And
something else I don't know how to do in StreamYard.
It's so easy. You just go to StreamYard.com/giveaway, and then you just put in a hashtag, and it's just like it's so easy. So let me start that. Hang on a second. I'm going to pull it up on the screen. Let's see. Share. So again, we're giving away a Valiant Knight. And the hashtag is NerdLair.
Ooh.
NerdLair hashtag. All right. And let me put the banner up. There we go. So NerdLair is the hashtag. Enter hashtag NerdLair in the chat. Just a reminder, this is US only. There are certain like sweepstakes rules I don't even want to try to figure out for international stuff. But if you are international and you have a friend I could ship it to in the US, that's fine as well. And then here's Kevin Dufresne, thank you very much for the money for the next giveaway. This was, luckily, this was not a current market price. Valiant Knight. I think they're going for like upwards of like 80 plus, maybe close to $100. So,
Wow.
but this was one that I bought back when they did the in stock sale. So good luck, everybody. I'll keep it up there for a little while, and we'll talk a little news. So let me bring this back up. And then I got to back up to CJ's stuff. So we're, I guess, still technically in the Legions category of news here. Unfortunately, this stuff, you know what? I'm going to do something with the banner here. Hang on. Hold on with the banner. I just want to edit it. That's a little better. Okay. So CJesim had a drop. It's a pre-order. They are going to be over the next few weeks shipping out I think it was a spring or maybe like a early summer pre-order for some stuff. They had like goblin hoods and cool like goblin thief type outfits. And then this one is stuff for the skeletons. And so we have a samurai outfit. Unfortunately, they're all sold out. I guess the sales were happening so fast and they have other obligations. They had to like cut it off because they weren't going to be able to hit their deadlines. This is like targeting Legions Con. So for a lot of people going to Legions Con, ordering these, pick them up at Legions Con or pay for shipping and then they'll ship them after. It's really nice to get the pickup because CJ is in Canada and the shipping can be expensive. So, so we have a samurai outfit for the skeleton. We have a peasant outfit for the skeleton. And this guy, like, he wrote like a whole story about this guy. He's basically a human who died and then is trying to blend back in with just like the regular townsfolk and people. Like, it's like a whole hilarious storyline with this. Wilkin the villager. So Keith ordered Wilkin set and the kebab banner. There's something that I ordered a few of, so I only ended up ordering I didn't end up ordering Wilkin, but maybe if he has some extras at Legions Con, I might pick one up. Let's see here. So there's Wilkin, and then there's a ninja suit, which is a total throwback to like CJ's, old Mezco cloth goods days. And then there's the flag, the Cosmic Legions flag. Nice. And then this is the thing that blew me away. So
looks so good.
So somebody had shown this, or maybe it was Wilkin. And I had been asking around for if anybody has pants for King Conan. And somebody had posted, hey, Bill, maybe these pants will work. And then CJ, I think, saw that post and said, what are you looking for pants? And like, this was like the day before this drop. And then he whipped up some pants and then put them up for pre-order. And so these pants were available, $15 for a pair of pants. And like, he's going to have these at Legions Con. So like that quick turnaround right there.
Those look awesome.
On like, from like not even thinking about making them to having them, pre-orderable and then pick them up a month and a half, 2 months from now. So I'm pumped because this figure I don't necessarily need the pants for, but King Conan to me, like, that absolutely needs pants. Like I've just been waiting for someone to do pants. And this kind of leads into my recent pickups that I said I was going to wait. So I'm going to pull this down and put myself, no, not solo layout. I want to do this. So Kai Lab sent me this. This is up for pre-order right now, but this is going to be so cool with those pants. And this is I forget what the name of this kind of thick tunic is or whatever, but like a quilted piece. And then it's got the top chains. So these chains up top are part of it too. So it's this in the quilted tunic thing. And it just looks awesome. And then once those pants are on there, man, this is going to be pretty much how I want this figure. It's going to be so good. But that looks great. And those are up for pre-order on VC Toys box. You can pre-order them. Gambison. That's what it is. Boom.
There you go.
Gambison. Yeah. So that was my recent pickup was that quilted Gambison and the chainmail on the top from Kai Lab. They sent that over to me. Is what 85? The Gambesane is, I think it's $30. The set, the peasant set, I think is 85. All right, so let's go back to that. Okay. And again, we are giving away a Valiant Knight, and the hashtag is NerdLair. And then there's one more shot of Wilkin. Yeah, I think the Wilkin set is 85. I think. There's a lot of complexity to that one. Oh yeah, and then we're back to here. All right, so yeah, maybe now is a good time to do the drawing, because I think I do want to do a second giveaway today. So let me pull this back up. The second giveaway is not as hot a ticket item as this, but again, we got a Valiant Knight right here. We got 67 entries. Come on, there's 100. It's only half the people. So 121 people here. If you do win, make sure you email me at podcast@dorklair.com to let me know where to send it. If you're familiar with me on social media, you can direct message me. But just, give me your address. I'll get it out probably Saturday morning. But we'll give it one more second here. 72 entries. So, Matt, did you get a sword? It's funny that 69 made me think of this.
What's that? I don't have the number 69. I looked. I'm number 35.
35?
Yeah. We're still looking for 69. I think they
No, we know where it went. Travis from My Wife Is Going to Kill Me, who is a retailer, he got number 69.
Oh, the winner. I wanted to make a short on this thing because it's pretty cool. Like, the fact that they took the time to do this, man, so cool.
Yeah, it's a tough one to like it's, you're not going to open it. So it's like to do a video on it's a little tough, but yeah. It's
one of those things. Well, I'll do a short because it's 60 seconds. But it's one of those things where it's like, man, the thought, the fact that they decided, you know what, let's make a moment to do this. It's just the thought that counts with that. It's so amazing.
Yeah, it really is. Okay. 75. Here we go. Should have gotten 30 for nerdy. That would have been a good one.
That would have made sense.
Nerdy 5.
Nerdy 5. I love it.
Trevor got 1-6. He got 16.
Well, that's cool.
Sweet 16.
All right, I'm going to spin this wheel. We're at 75. It hasn't moved in a couple seconds. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Who's it going to be?
Such a tease the way it slows down.
Source Figure. Source Figure, congratulations. You've won a Valiant Knight. So please send me a message. Let me know where to mail this thing. I'll get it out by Saturday. And I'm going to pull this down. All right. So let's pull up the next one. Not as crazy, but it's an awesome figure. It's a Red Jet, the Tusk pilot from the most recently released wave. Has an amazing paint job. Like, that red is just so cool. So that's going to be the next giveaway. And we need a hashtag. What should we do for a hashtag?
I'm boring. I was just going to say hashtag pilot, but what are you going to do?
How about hashtag? Let me do this. I don't like to say it until I've actually started collecting comments. People put it in and they're not entered.
Red Jet, Red Hot.
I got one. Continuing with the nerd theme here.
Football season starts tomorrow. We could go with a good Go Birds.
Starts
Nerdy
today,
Pie.
Right? Starts football.
Oh,
season
wow. I forgot.
starts
Well, I mean, it's
tonight.
not the Eagles, so it doesn't count.
Right.
I knew you were too good to be true. I knew there was something I didn't like about you.
Yeah, that's what it is. Listen, I was born in Philly. I spent my first 18 years there. It feels dirty to put on any other colors.
You could have stopped the sentence with "I was born in Philly. It feels dirty," and just stopped there, and you would have been right on point.
It would have made sense.
The first time I ever went to Philadelphia, I was there with an ex. She had a grandmother that lived there, and I was told when you go to Philadelphia, you have to get a cheesesteak. So I asked her, "Where's the nearest place I can go to get a cheesesteak and cheese fries?" And she says, like 2 or 3 blocks over. And I was like, "Okay, I'm just going to walk." 'Cause it was nice weather. It was like October. It was nice and cool outside. So I'm walking around, and people are looking at me like I've got 2 heads on my shoulders, and they're ready to knock one of them off. And I'm like, what? I mean, granted, I'm like the only white dude in the neighborhood. I'm thinking maybe that's it. No, it wasn't. Here's what an idiot I am. I go into the sub shop, and the fella, so it's one of those, you go in, it's super narrow. It goes back, and the guy's like up on is it like elevated behind where he's cooking everything, and they hand it down to you. There's like enough room to shuffle in, get your order, shuffle out, and everybody's nuts to butts coming in and out. This older African-American gentleman, probably in his 70s, he looks down at me. He goes, "Boy," he goes, "you are not big enough to be that stupid." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Did you not look at what you put on before you stepped outside?" It was then that I realized I was wearing a Dallas Cowboys jacket, a Dallas Cowboys beanie, walking through Philadelphia in a decidedly not me neighborhood. And I was like, "So should I just act crazy? I got to walk 3 blocks back to where I came from." He was like, "Boy," he goes, "I'm gonna give you these fries for free because you just entertained me that much today." So I got my fries with the cream cheese, and I got like 2 or 3 things and took them back. But yeah, that was my first Philly experience.
Oh,
So.
They're nuts. We are nuts. Like, I remember it was, I think, 97 or 98. I was 15 years old working at a diner when Michael Irvin broke whatever it was that ended his career. And like 4/5 of the cooks were cheering for it. Like, that's where we are. Like, the only one who wasn't cheering was my dad, who was angry because everyone was taking too long to cook their cheesesteaks, and Terry, who was a Cowboys fan. So that makes sense. But yeah,
this is the city that threw batteries at Santa, for crying out loud.
We're nuts. Like, we are insane. I remember, like, I have some crazy memories. Like, something takes you over when you're there. I think he was 55. Me and my dad went to a Seahawks game in like 2008, and we lost, and it was ugly. And we sat there in the frozen rain. And after the game, there was a bunch of people in Seahawks jerseys, and my old man dad, who could barely, we had to stop on the ramp for him to take a breathing break. He's like, "I just want to punch those guys." And I'm like, "Wow, it really is just in the air. It's just us. It's who we are."
Here's what's funny. Like, the sports teams that I pull for, it's almost like I was genetically built to not belong in Philadelphia. Cowboys, Braves, Celtics.
Braves. I know it.
Cowboys, Braves, Celtics. Like, are there any 3 teams that I could possibly love that are less loved in Philadelphia?
That's your whole MO. You're an anti-Philly guy.
I really am. I am.
Cowboys and Eagles, nature's greatest enemies, even more so than sharks and bears. You'll never see these 2 alpha predators in the same environment.
Unless they tear each other's throats out.
I was 13 years old. My dad bought me a shirt that said, I had one shirt that just said "Dallas sucks" with the Eagles logo giving the middle finger. And then I had another shirt that was the Eagles old school eagle taking a dump on the Cowboys helmet. And like, between that and I think it was Christmas of 96, where my grandmother gave one of us a Cowboy shirt because she found it on clearance. So she thought, "Oh, it's that football game. My grandkid bought it." My dad threw it in the fireplace with the fire.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love
Just
it.
to set an example. And then he took the carcass of the shirt and put it on the wreath on Christmas Day so they could see it when they came in the house.
That's awesome.
Trevor's a Cowboys fan. Cowboys aren't alpha predators. Nobody is afraid of them in the playoffs. I think
That's-
he's
No,
talking
no,
about
they're
actual
not.
Cowboys and actual Eagles.
Dallas will
Not
not
the
be a
football
good
teams.
team. Dallas will not be a good football team again until Jerry dies or takes his hands off of the stick. He's Art Shell,
Yes.
not Art Shell. Who was the guy that owned the Raiders?
Oh,
Art Shell was the
guy with the weird haircut.
with the
Oh my
glasses
God.
and the sunglasses.
I know who you're talking about. He has a crazy haircut. Now his
Yeah.
son has a crazy haircut.
Yeah, who was the owner of the Raiders in the
Al
70s?
something.
Al Davis.
Al
Thank
Davis.
you.
That's it.
Yeah, Jerry Jones is Al Davis of the 21st century. And until he stops breathing, we're not going to be a good football team.
Well, I hope he lives forever.
All right, Bill, give this thing away so he don't have to listen about Philadelphia anymore.
We'll hold off. We're gonna do that in a little bit. I do
Uncle
wanna
Bob is here. Uncle Bob lives literally. Well, his store is down the street from me.
Oh, nice, Uncle Bob, vintage toys.
Boom.
Nice.
Lemoyne plug for you, Bob.
So back to some more news, and then we'll give away the pilot. So I want to continue sharing Glyos news when there is some. This was a recent drop from from McCTX Toys, who does like various lines in autumn colors. Like their whole thing is like these autumn colors. And this is an old school one. This is the Titan skeleton, not skeleton. That's my typo. The Titan skeleton from Double G, who is George Gaspar from Four Horsemen Studios now, but back in the day, this was a figure that he made. And this is the autumnal colorway. This one's sold out. The autumnal colorway is this same one. You know, this is the plastic that it's injected, and then it has paint apps on top. So this is the main release, and then they made a few of these. They call them material or blanks. This particular one is sold out, but the rest of this stuff I think is still available on McCTX Toys, and they have a whole bunch of battle tribes in the sale too, all in those colors. And the fun thing about this kind of stuff is this is where it's fun to pop and swap and mix and match, because they're all in the similar colors. So like any part you put on any other figure is going to be, it's going to work. I love the battle tribes. If you guys remember me showing like the cheeseburger head, it's like that same kind of body, like that guy. But yeah, these are really cool. They're just basically like little tiny mini Masters of the Universe bucks, right? And then they just do all different kinds of crazy characters with them. And the YouTuber, I'm trying to think of his name right now. Oh my God. Anthony Hernandez, who is Bat Bomb, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Bat Bomb. He actually has a figure in this. Like he's got one that he designed, and he does a lot of like marketing with these guys, and he's got reviews of this whole wave up. Bat Bomb 83. Thank you. Just drawing a blank there. But so that's some Glyos stuff. And then there's another one that I'm not super familiar with. This is the Neo Weaponeers, the Weaponeers of Monka. And this is a drop that's currently available. This is just one of, I think, maybe 4 or 5 figures. And Anthony also did some reviews of these as well. So go check out Batbomb 83 if you want a little more details on these particular ones. I don't have any Weaponeers. I didn't place an order because I'm trying to tell myself like a lot of this kind of stuff is going to be available at Legions Con, and I need to like dial it back for pre-orders and stuff, or just for like ordering online. But maybe I'll pick some of these up if these guys are there. Maybe I'll pick some up at Legions Con. Alberto, what's going on? Looks like Alberto may have just shown up. Yep. And yeah, skeleton. Yeah, total red. It's a little reddish.
A little bit.
And then we have BossFight Studios. So prior to this, the Epic Hacks, the most recent one was Red Sonja, which hasn't released yet. And then aside from that, they had the skeletons. So we don't really have a full-blown, built-out, like, human body from that line. They do have some 6-inch wrestling figures that I've heard really good things about, but we don't really have, like, this is going to be the first kind of, like, variety wave of the epic hacks. And so we have an Amazon warrior, and the epic hacks are their 6-inch figures. Okay, so the skeletons are probably right in that 6, maybe like a slightly over 6 inches. They're not really the same scale as legions. Like legions are 7 inches, and these are, you know, more like 6 inches. But this looks fantastic to me. I'm like a huge fan of their 1/18th scale Vitruvian hacks. Their quality is fantastic. So I'm assuming these are going to be top notch as well. And then you have a barbarian warlord right here. And they're
That
getting
looks
better
really cool.
Yeah, it looks sweet, right? And they're getting better with their promotional photos and their renders and stuff. Like, and then we have I forget what it was. It was like a space hero or something like that. Space captain, something like that. And then we've got a space pirate, space alien type creature there. So those are the 4. So there's a nice little mix. You've got a couple kind of space ones, and you've got like a almost like Mongolian looking, like a kind of a barbarian type thing, and you have a Greek ancient classical kind of time one. And then these are the loadouts of them. They're $40 each, and they're currently up for pre-order. I don't know that I'm going to pre-order them, but I will probably pick up. This one is like my favorite. I definitely want this one. But I'll probably pick up 2 of these. We'll see which the other one is. Do you sell BossFight at all, Matt?
You know, it's something I've been working this week. I've been talking with them and Jack Specific about setting up accounts, and
yeah,
I haven't yet. I sell a couple, like I have like the Red Sonias, but I haven't bought anything else. Like I've been talking with them a lot this week, actually. So
yeah,
this might be my sign that I need to pick some stuff up.
I hope these are like their 1/18th. The 1/18th, there's just like it's like kind of like little legions. Like it's very easy to mix and match and pop and swap and customize. They do a lot of blanks and stuff. So I'm thinking that the 6-inch stuff will be the same. And I know they have 6-inch blanks that they've been selling. I'm just not sure if they've been released yet.
Let's see. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, they might still be pre-orders. And Trevor picked up the alien and Space Captain. That's what it was. Space Captain.
I was looking at their Popeye stuff, and I was like, "Hey, that's a Sailor Man. That looks pretty cool."
Yeah, those look great. And they get a lot of crazy stuff. A lot of like, not obscure, but like stuff that nobody else really does.
Well, that's because there's like a licensing war going on. I feel like everybody's fighting to try to get every single license that might be the next big like retro thing. And then you have the horsemen out there being like, boom, we got our own license.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty interesting to watch. Like I know that, there's days where I'm like, maybe I need to kind of do the big bad thing where they partner with Fresh Monkey Fiction and they're doing their own thing as well as like a hedge. Like I've thought about that too. And then I look at like Boss Fight. I'm like, well, I'm not buying the Strawberry Shortcake license anytime soon. So,
so not sure exactly how they line up with others in that scale. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that these are going to be probably around Marvel Legends size is what I'm kind of expecting based on like the size of the skeletons. And like when I look at the skeletons and when I look at the 1/18th skeletons next to the 1/18th warriors, knights, orcs, barbarians and stuff, like, and I see those compared to each other, and I could just kind of like scale that up and imagine like based on the 6-inch skeletons, I feel like these are going to be around Marvel Legends size is my guess, unless they tweak things. Kevin likes their Saurozoic line. They got the dinosaurs, the dino saucers stand in, as he says. Yes, this is right. Epic is the 6-inch. Vitruvian is the 1/18th scale.
Huh, I did not know that. Good to know.
So if you see Epic, then it's the 6-inch. All right, and then this is all we get. We just get a tease, and they said say it 3 times.
Yep.
And that was their teaser. So SH Figure Arts Beetlejuice. My question is it going to be the original young Beetlejuice, or is it going to be the new old Beetlejuice? And
my money's on both.
Yeah. I mean, I guess then the question is which will they do first? Will they drop them both at the same time?
Same time, baby. That's my guess.
Same time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
If I had to guess, they're going to drop one first. They would probably go with the current property. But knowing that nostalgia is going to drive anything they do with this, I say they drop them both. I wouldn't be surprised to see, because they've done Bruce Lee, they've done Freddie Mercury, they've done Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them do a Lydia with it, or what's the girl's name that played Wednesday?
Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, whatever her character's name is. I wouldn't be shocked to see one of those. So yeah, I'm thinking at least that.
I'm really curious to see how this movie does. Like, there's so many people. I was born in 83, so the movie itself was never a big thing to me, but the cartoon, I was all over that cartoon.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, I've heard good things from people who review things that tend to have the same taste that I do, so I'm hopeful.
And it sounds like they're going to do a third one, right? If this one's called Beetlejuice, they're probably planning a third one, I would imagine.
Well, I think it's going to depend on what the returns are here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the fact that Hot Toys, and I didn't put it on this, but the fact that Hot Toys just revealed an old man Beetlejuice makes me think that this will also be an old man Beetlejuice. But you're right. Maybe it'll be both at once. That's actually a good call. Rob's going to go check it out tomorrow night. I haven't been to the movies in forever, besides kids' movies. I'd never even got to see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Same.
I'm probably going to see that when it comes out, I guess.
What's funny? I was scrolling through my Big Bad pre-orders, and the Figure Arts Deadpool and Wolverine were right above the Marvel Legends Deadpool and Wolverine, which were right above the Missing Link, Cliff Jumper, and Bumblebee. And I'm like, red and yellow, red and yellow, red and yellow. That's all. Just on that screen, it was like one after the other. I thought it was so funny.
That's awesome. This was kind of caught me off guard because this went up for pre-order. You have it, Matt. But I thought this came out, or not came out, but so I remember I don't have any other pictures. I just have it on here to talk about it because I'm 99% sure we went through all these pictures on the show months ago. And then I was like, did this ever go up? And somebody had 2 days ago, somebody had posted in the DORKLAIR Facebook group. Everybody should go join. And they said, whatever happened to that Obi-Wan, that Meisho Obi-Wan? And I was like, I don't know. Did that ever go up? And then somebody else chimed in and said it was a Tamashii Web exclusive. And that there was pre-orders for the Tamashii Web exclusive. And now suddenly it's this. And I don't know if maybe it wasn't a Tamashii Web exclusive. Maybe this is the first time it's coming, or maybe they didn't sell enough with the Tamashii Web exclusive. And, this is to get, satisfy whatever demand there is, or I don't know. This is blowing my mind. I definitely want this figure, though. I love this line. Yeah.
It's selling better than I expected. I'll tell you that.
It's the first. Well, first of all, the folks who collect this line are starving for figures. This and Figure Arts Star Wars, the regular Figure Arts Star Wars stuff, it's a trickle. It used to be once a month there'd be a couple figures out, or a pre-order every other month or something. And that was the whole basis of this show until they just dried up. And then I ended up stopping the 6-inch Figure Arts altogether. I do still collect these, but again, it's I
can't believe that they've done as much Star Wars as they have, and they've not done one single Empire Strikes Back release. It blows my mind.
It's crazy. Yeah. Trevor says, wait, you have these, Matt?
Amen. I got everything at this point. At this point, it's more a race against time of how long it takes me and virtual assistant Chrissy to put things up on the site. I got a lady who I used to work with at Panera Bread years ago. She's retired now, so she helps me put things up on the site, but it's like a journey every day. I'm like, hey, here's 15 SKUs to put up. But yeah, that one's up there.
Cool.
This is exciting because we're getting our first Jedi, right? It's all been like Vader, Stormtroopers. We did get
Mandalorians
3PO as a good guy. Yeah, Mandos, Boba Fett's.
I haven't opened any of these. Are they as cool as they look?
Oh, I love them. Yeah, they're really nice. Yep. Crack one open. They're awesome.
You've convinced me. I got a couple out there, I think.
Yeah. I did not pick up. So some of the recent ones was the Vader from this show. I have a Vader. I didn't really want a second Vader. So I just have the one. And then they did the Remnant Stormtrooper recently. And I have a handful of Stormtroopers. I don't really want another one. And I have multiple Boba Fett's. So I didn't get, I have Boba Fett and Jango Fett and Mandalorian and a lot of that same kind of look. So I didn't end up getting the Book of Boba Fett. So I haven't picked up any of these recently, but this is a must. I have to get this one. And I hope
like that one.
Repaint, new head sculpt, and do like a New Hope Obi-Wan, or do some other Jedi, like do like some prequel Jedis with this maybe. So promising, but stuff is a trickle. I mean, they showed Akbar, they showed IG-88 or IG-11, one of the two. I forget which one they showed. And like none of those, I would love it if this line kind of picked back up. What they need is a big successful Star Wars movie to like get people interested in Star Wars again, is what they really
Good
need.
luck.
I wish.
Star Wars toys are at an I can speak for myself, except for the reruns. Star Wars toys are just so down in sales year over year, years in a row. It's very sad.
That's what happens when, as a company, you take a big dump on the faces of the people that have kept your company afloat for the past 3 decades.
Oh yeah, that will
Kathleen Effin Kennedy.
Cartman Kennedy.
Stand that woman.
Kennedy was responsible for Andor.
No, that she accidentally let that through. If she would have had the idea, it would have sucked. She would have not ever greenlit it. Freaking Leslie Headland. I hired this writer the moment I heard that she knew nothing about Star Wars. We can tell.
There's definitely some games being played with.
I'll tell you what, the game is being played. The game being played is they got up in the morning, they took a shit, and they flushed their brain. That's the game they play.
It was really such an easy thing to do. It's really like, okay, if you're Disney, you're Bob Iger in 2012, you're like, all right, we bought the Disney license. What do we do? And then here's me.
Timothy effing Zahn.
Hire Timothy Zahn. It's really that simple. That's the whole game here.
I don't know.
You don't have to be able to split atoms. And I don't know how in Rebels they did Thrawn so well, and then in the Ahsoka series they managed to screw him up so utterly. I can't comprehend it. It's like they're living on stupid pills, and their insurance is subsidizing everything with a $0 copay, and they're just taking them down. And guess what? Disney's like, oh, screw it. We don't like money. Money? Who needs money? I don't need money. So I don't get it. I can't make heads or tails of it.
How big of a character would like OG Mara Jade have been? Like,
oh my gosh.
Mara Jade, people would have went, like, you introduce her as she was.
Yep.
People would have went crazy.
Here's the problem. We would have loved her, and they couldn't have called us misogynists or sexists.
True.
You can't say bad things about Lord of the Rings and for all the crap they do, and then you're a sexist and a racist and a misogynist. Wait a minute. House of the Dragon's doing all the same DEI stuff, but they're doing it with a good story. You can tell a good story. You got to hire people who have gone beyond 7th grade creative writing. It's bad fanfic.
It was bad. Like, I tried watching The Acolyte and didn't hate it to the point where, like, I wanted to just destroy it. But it was like, I only made it 2 episodes in because I was that bored.
I kept walking away bored, and I could feel my IQ dropping the longer I watched it.
My litmus test is my son and daughter. If they don't find it interesting, then I'm like, oh yeah, they missed the mark here. But I'll be honest, like I don't think Star Wars was meant for TV series. I think it needs to be a 2.5 hours.
I don't know, man. Like, I gotta say, The Mandalorian season 1
and 2
was and 2 was great, but like just that experience of season 1 Mandalorian was kind of mind blowing. Like that was
it was
amazing.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
You know, they can do it. It's just
I'll never
just a
forget
matter of
watching him walk with all the stormtrooper helmets on pikes, and I was like, this is perfection. And then at the end of season 2, you're like, wait, one X-Wing. And all of that goodwill that they built, they felt
so good.
Lucasfilm has done something. If you would have told me 10 years ago, Larry, in 10 years, you will not care about Star Wars, I'd tell you you're crazy. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars on Star Wars stuff. You can never kill my love for stuff. It is dead and effing buried. And you can say Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars as many times as you want to, and the ghost is not coming back anytime soon.
Are you just not going to watch Andor season 2?
No, I'm watching Andor because season 1 was awesome. Yeah. I will watch good things. I'm not like, well, I'm just not giving anything a chance. I tried to watch Ahsoka. I'm sorry. If you get impaled with a lightsaber, you die. Okay? Yeah. Unless you're a girl in Ahsoka or you're a girl that gets stabbed. Did the woman get stabbed 2 or 3 times in Kenobi? I can't figure that out. And when you make Kenobi so stupid that he can't walk around the laser gate that's right over there, come on.
I'll say this with Kenobi, it was I actually enjoyed Kenobi because in my mind it was impossible to mess up. All you had to do was get Ewan McGregor there, and then I was in. Like it could have just been him working at the Space Butcher, cutting space the entire show. That was a great scene. And I would have been like 5 stars. 5 stars.
Yeah, but you know what? Tell me that when those 2 complete idiots were chasing 5-year-old Leia through the woods that you were not hearing yakety sax play in the background. You're telling me those 2 grown men couldn't catch a 5-year-old? Give me a break. It's not Kevin McAllister we're talking about.
This is like Andor was written by one team. Like when you kind of like avoid this like, I don't know, corporate like meeting room, like people gather together and like coming up together with the story. And I actually have a theory like as to why we haven't been seeing the art of Star Wars anymore. Cause like the art of Star Wars, they used to really like show where a lot of these ideas came from, and it would like track all the story ideas and stuff. And it's like, I think they're not proud of like how they're coming up with the stories anymore, because I do think there should be an art of Andor book. Like that would be a really cool story.
I love that. I love that series. Andor was freaking awesome. I'm anxious. And
it was like the least Star Wars show ever, but it was so damn good.
But it was so Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Like it's almost like they want to just be able to pump it out without having to think. Like, all right,
$20 super
lightsabers,
chat.
Right, guys?
Wow.
We're going with a checklist. We got the Force. Yeah. We got lightsabers. Yeah. All right. Here we go. $100 million.
Yeah. And no return. Let's see.
Let me read this super chat. $20. This might be the highest super chat we've ever had.
Yeah, I think it is.
Hey, I'm sorry I'm late, but yeah, the Obi-Wan was a limited timed. Sorry, it was a timed exclusive. Also showed the Mandalorian with the black saber, dark saber at one point. So yeah, I meant to put this up in the toy aisle group and totally forgot. Okay, so that's confirmed that it was a Tamashi Web timed exclusive, and then now it's up. I wonder, does it come with did the web exclusive come with anything that this
I bet it's different accessories. It's got to be different accessory loadout.
Yeah.
Or maybe something additional like those stands that we got with the SH Figure Art stuff or something like that. I don't know. Hey, Bill, I'm going to have to jump off here.
Okay.
Let me say one last thing before I take off. I know that there was on the Yellow Park stuff, there was a Nemesis Prime Yellow Park model, and there was some question about whether or not that was going to be available, how easy that was going to be able to get. If anyone is looking for that, it is up for pre-order on their site. So you should be able to go get that with no problems. I didn't know if that was in the news, so I wanted to say that. But
it's not.
I've got
This
to pull.
is the last piece.
Okay, but I've got to pull off here. You guys have a good night. I love y'all.
Yeah.
Good seeing you, Larry.
Good night, Larry.
Good night. Bye.
You know, back to the Star Wars stuff a little bit. I will say, like, I'm one who, like, if, like, let's say there's a few incongruities or things that just don't make sense, like someone getting stabbed with a lightsaber. I take that with the good stuff, and you know, I tend to find something to enjoy.
Yeah,
it's not going to be like Andor necessarily. Like, there's something about that show that I was almost falling asleep the first time I watched it. It was like I was watching it late at night. It was like maybe like after doing this, I would watch it or something, and but the second time I watched it through, and I was watching it like afternoons, like I was waiting for my wife to come home or something, and I had a little while, and I would watch like 20 minutes of it, and then like, and the details and just the attention to details on that show were just mind blowing. But there's just not a lot of that consistency with the other shows that are, I mean, in my opinion, they're fine when you compare them to a lot of stuff. They're just not as consistent as something like Andor.
I have to admit, and this is probably bad, I have not finished Andor. It just did not hook me. Same, and this is, again, I feel like Peter Griffin at the end of the world, where he's like, I didn't like The Godfather. It insisted on itself. Like, I feel like I'm about to say that, but like Rogue One, I didn't love it. Not enough Jedi. Listen, the guy saying, I am the Force and the Force is with me, that's not enough. I need some Force pushing. I need some Jedi. I need some lightsabers. Just didn't do it.
Yeah, just Vader. See, that's one, that's not a hang up with Andor. It's actually something that I found refreshing with it, but it makes it seem like without the Force, it makes it seem a little less Star Warsy. Like, you'd think like by that point in the journey of the rebellion, they would be like saying, may the Force be with you. Like that would be like, I think by then they would be, you know, that they're saying that in the rebellion at that point, I would imagine, but you don't really see it. But Curtis is with you. It's a snooze fest. Which I kind of was like, okay with it the first time, but seeing it a second time, man, you just look around that screen and the details are insane.
I mean, I never made it through half of the first episode. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of boring. Like, I don't need much. I just need a little bit of Jedi in my life. And again, there doesn't necessarily need to be a story structure or anything useful. Like, I grew up on episode 1 and I loved it. So like, I don't need story. I don't need characters. I just need people getting cut in half with lightsabers.
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Rogue One. I found it to be, I actually like it more. So the first time I saw it, I wasn't that into it because I didn't find the characters to be very developed or convincing. And it just didn't feel, it felt like certain things were just thrown in there. And the best parts, it was like, I want to, like, when I was rewatching it, I just want to fast forward to the Vader part, or I just want to fast forward to the space battle above Scarif or whatever. And like, I just would want to like jump to these scenes, which, you know, Star Wars has always been, I could just sit through Star Wars and rewatch it over and over. But then it's Star Wars, it has this thing with it where it's like, then you read Catalyst, which is the prequel book to Andor, and it starts to become a little better, and the characters, you start to like them a little more. Then you see Andor, and like, it's just, there's something about the way the other pieces of the property, and let me just get rid of this, we don't need this anymore. The other pieces of the property can tend to help like build it up, that make me appreciate it a little bit more.
It makes sense. It really does. And I'll still continue to go with, I don't think Star Wars is meant for the episodic television. It's not Star Trek. It doesn't make sense. Like, think about it. They told the entire original trilogy story in like what, 7.5 hours?
Yeah.
It's just,
Andor,
it drags.
I mean, the Mandalorian season 1, those were all like 20-minute episodes. That was actually probably only the full length of a feature film.
But even that, like, I love The Mandalorian, don't get me wrong, but then I was on TikTok one day and this guy was doing like every Mandalorian episode ever, and it's like, oh no, we have to help Grogu find his family, but we're gonna go off on this random mission and help these people fight their villain. Oh no, we did it! Hooray! Oh no, Grogu's drinking the space milk. Oh, Grogu. Next episode.
I liked that part of it. I
liked it. It was very
the standalone-ish of some of the episodes.
But like, it wasn't like, you know, when we started that, I still haven't gotten my definitive, like, I love the politics of Star Wars too. Like, I want my definitive, what happened after Return of the Jedi? Did, like, Coruscant just say, hey, Stormtroopers, screw you, we're killing all of you.
Yeah.
We're knocking down this statue and killing you. Like, I want the whole story, and we're never going to get it. And that's the bummer to me.
Yeah. You got to go to the books. The book Bloodline is awesome. And it is a build-up book to the sequels, which I know a lot of people dislike. I personally, I like the sequels.
I didn't like Rise of Skywalker. I loved Force Awakens. Last Jedi, if you take out all the casino scenes, it was pretty good. But I thought Rise of Skywalker was a disgrace of all.
That was the weakest one to me.
Like, it was so bad.
I like The Last Jedi the best. And again, I feel like it's because it's the one that was like a singular story that was like a you know, this core, you know, singular writer. But yeah, Bloodline is fantastic. It's about Leia, and it's about her dealing with the reality of people knowing that she's the daughter of Vader, and Kylo is a baby at that point. And he's off with Luke, I believe. And yeah, it's a pretty cool book. It's a great story. I tend to, when it comes to the Star Wars books, the stuff that's a little more like political and less action, it's a little easier for me to read and enjoy, especially if I'm going to do the audiobooks of it. Because it's just, I don't know, for some reason, like when I listen to audiobooks of like action-packed battles, my eyes glaze over.
Me too. And that's kind of where Thrawn came in, where it was more about the mythology of the Jedi and finding out really like, hey, why did the cave have why did Dagobah have this dark side cave, and just stuff like that. I was really into it. And I haven't read a single book since Disney took over. Before Disney took over, I probably read every Legends book. Oh, wow. And I liked maybe 50% of them. Like, there are some really bad books.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, for people who are like, man, Legends is where it's at, everything was perfect. No, it's not.
No, definitely not.
Like, there's some really dumb stuff in there.
That's how I almost feel like where we are at with Star Wars now. Like, the books, the TV shows, it's all sort of like old Legends where some of it's awesome and some of it's mediocre. And we're sort of in that era again where we're just kind of like, you know, there's not a ton of like, it's not a couple just awesome movies and then we wait a little while or whatever. Okay, so we could probably wrap this one up. Let's finish up our giveaway.
Ooh, I just got a nice
another $10 from the same Trash Around My Plastic. So going back to Acolyte, you have to binge watch it just like Moon Knight. This is why Marvel has started a TV studio. This way they can be written and shot as TV episodes, and you should give it a second chance. I wonder if they should experiment with like dropping a series all at once like Netflix does. I wonder if that would like,
I think it would help. I honestly do. Like, I'm like, it's like a good and a bad thing. Like, I curse it when it happens because it's like, oh crap, I have to watch all of this in the next 72 hours.
Yeah, but I personally love the weekly. I love the ritual of it. But yeah, sometimes these shows they just make more sense just to watch them straight through.
Do you know what lost me with the Acolyte though? And maybe this is wrong of me, but when Coyote Mundi showed up, that was it. That was the end of it for me. Like, once we broke canon and changed canon for his age, like, I know that's strange. I know it doesn't make any sense, but I saw that. I'm just like, you guys lost me. Like,
they should have had Oppo Rancisis. I don't understand why they do Coyote Mundi and not Oppo. Like, he was around. He was around back then. Like, He's in the comics. He's in the High Republic comics. So he's a through line through all of it. It's just that he's a
like,
snake man and maybe they don't want to do him or whatever.
You had such an easy thing, though. All you had to do was have Yoda show up every third or fourth episode for 90 seconds. And everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I just, from a business standpoint, I look at it and I say, what are you thinking? Yoda fits in there. All you have to do is, like, literally have him be a background character. Like, show the temple bathroom and Yoda comes out of it and he's like, don't go in there, you should. Drop a bomb I did.
Oh, God.
That's all you need. That's it. It's so simple.
Iodine says, I'm debating waiting to watch all of Andor season 2 until I can binge it based on my experience rewatching season 1. Interesting.
The problem with season 1, and I can say this as somebody who works for himself and from home, you have to actually pay attention. I can't just turn it on in the background because that's what I try to do. And I'm like, wait, what the hell is going on? It's raining. He's in a bar. I can't work at the same time. So I have to actually dedicate time to sit down and watch the whole thing again.
Yeah. All right. All right, let's do the spin.
Do it.
72 entries. Good luck, everyone. Reminder, if you win, make sure you message me and let me know your address so that I can send this out. Here we go. Good luck. Who's it going to be?
Oh, I thought it was going to be Uncle Bob there.
It's always funny in the end when you get like the last couple and they're slow. Ending soon is the winner. Congratulations, ending soon. Thanks for entering. Email me at podcast@dorklair.com and I will get that out as soon as possible. Probably Saturday morning. Okay. Alrighty. Oh, we got another one. Wow, trash.
Whoa.
You're way too generous, man. Diane won't do that. They're afraid they won't have enough content, so they'll lose viewership. And as far as Kiadimondi's appearance is explained, somebody had mentioned it up here, saying because he's the one who said the Sith had been extinct for 1,000 years. The fact that he was there means the Jedi Order will not learn of the Sith in the show. Okay.
But that's kind of the point. Like, how could he say that in episode 1 and then be dealing with this in the Acolyte? It wasn't explained.
Because they don't know it's the Sith.
I mean, like, come on. How many dark wielding Force users are there? They're like, well, it's either the Sith or the witches of Dakamir.
There's others, though. In canon, there are others.
Are there? Okay. See, that's news to me. I thought that was that.
It's just like, it's one of those things, though, too, where it's like, how much do you trust in people to like have read the books, like have read the High Republic? Like there's not.
I haven't.
There's some really crazy stuff. There's this leveler thing that like basically destroys Force users. It's just like this monster that just by its nature of being, it just destroys Force users.
Interesting. You know what's funny to me is that they have the ultimate money-making machine. If you made a really well done movie or show on Knights of the Old Republic, it's like a money.
Yeah.
Why hasn't it been done? That would have been one of the first things I did.
I always thought I don't think a lot of people are going to like this, but I always thought a Jedi Academy show, like almost kind of like Harry Potter-esque, like a Jedi Academy show where it's like the day-to-day of like the younglings, you know, learning, training, and then it slowly becomes a little more serious, you know, like a kind of like the way Harry Potter did over the years, you know, something like that would be kind of cool. Joe, we're signing off, man.
Have you ever seen the Chappelle Show Jedi Academy scandal?
No.
Look it up when we're done, because that's what I imagine when you say that show. Basically, it's Dave Chappelle as every character, as always, but it's during the period of time of the Catholic priest scandals, and Yoda plays a priest. He's like, "Oh yes, do that, you will."
Oh God,
it's so messed up.
I've ever seen
that's
that
what I imagine the show would be.
Yeah, Joe, we're we're just wrapping this one up. It's actually, we got a little bit long here. We're done 2 hours now.
It's my fault. I blame me.
No, it's good. It's fine.
I'll have to cover the giveaway next week. We'll have to like tease that ahead of time.
Yeah. So this is an interesting point. Like, so if you're, you know, if you're of the mindset where like, oh, they're kind of ruining Star Wars. I personally don't think they're ruining Star Wars, but like, if you're of that mindset, do you even really want a Knights of the? Do you even really want them to touch that? You know, it's like this kind of sacred thing.
I'm of the mindset that they don't understand how to tell Star Wars stories. So take one that's already told and then tell it in a movie. So it makes sense to me.
Right.
Just don't do anything stupid. It's really simple. Make sure that they all look exactly as they do in the video games. It will make money. It'll sell toys. Of course, I might be biased towards the selling toys part, but it's pretty simple to me.
I do want to put up a post-show comment. This is great for, you know, helping the video get a little traction after the fact. So if you are, you know, hanging around and you want to like hang around a couple more minutes after the show ends, in the comments, will Figure Arts reveal old Beetlejuice or young Beetlejuice? I guess the question is if they only reveal one, because people are saying maybe it's going to be both. If they're only going to do one, will it be old Beetlejuice or young Beetlejuice? Not in the comments here, in the not in the chat here, but in the comments after we end and the video is on replay. Go back and put in a comment there, and we are going to wrap this up. Thanks everybody for hanging out and chatting with us tonight. Thank you, Big Nerdy.
It's a pleasure as always. I love going on a show I don't have to do any work for. It's fantastic.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Until next time, may the force be with you.
Follow me into the